creating higher clocked KB Lake CPUs to combat Ryzen. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this won't be enough.
Hopefully not.
I hope it's not enough.
Yeah.
For a quad core, so the rumored SKUs, overclock3d.net is our source here, are the i5 7640K and i7 7740K. And it looks like about a 5% bump here and about a 3% bump here.
What are those going to cost, though?
Also, it looks like we may get an i5 with hyper-threading, which would be very surprising to me. And if Intel introduced these, I suspect they're going for one of two tactics. Either they think that Ryzen's single-threaded performance is not going to be on par with KB Lake, especially at this kind of clock speed. So they might be counting on Ryzen's single-thread performance at the clock speeds it can hit, not being able to compete with KB Lake at like 4.6 gigahertz. And they might be thinking, you know what? We can bring these in above the existing chips as gamer-oriented SKUs, and these really will deliver the best performance in games, which is possible. Or Intel is in full-on panic mode, because with how inbred the entire IT industry is, I guarantee you there's working Ryzen silicon in Intel's labs right now. There's absolutely no way that there isn't. So the other possibility is Intel is in panic mode right now, and these are going to come straight in as replacements for the 7700 and 7600K, and they are getting ready for a significant price adjustment on the LGA 2011 3 platform chips as well.
I still hope it's not enough.
So you hope that Intel underestimates Ryzen.
Yes.
In spite of like the numbers on paper indicating that performance will be very good,
yes,
enough that AMD claws back some market share, prompting someone at Intel to go, oh, maybe it would be worthwhile to invest in CPU R&D for single core performance again.
I think it would be very healthy if AMD is able to just like walk around as king for even like a few years.
I don't think it's going to take a few years for Intel to
I don't think it is either. But like that would be awesome, because they could really use like the revenue for a while and like getting back into the mainstream conversation, because as much as AMD is talked about by us, and as well as the AMD content that we really tried to like crush, good job at CES did, market share is super not there.
Yep.
And if we could get closer to like 50-50, like it's a gamble how much, like which person is going to buy what.
Maybe in the DIY space at least.
Yeah.
I don't think, you know.
Like if we could get new builds and planning on our forum to get closer to 50-50 with these chips out, like that would even be really cool.
I want something to light a fire under Intel, because as scary as it is, that part of me worries that this might be the last time we ever see a big push from AMD. I mean, it's not like Jim Keller is going to go back and like save them again. And he's working at Tesla now. I worry that if this isn't enough to kind of prompt Intel to get their gear into gear, yeah, thank you.
It's fine.
We made it. Nailed it. I worry that we'll just never really, I mean, never is a strong word, but I worry that we will never really see a fire lit under those guys again. So yeah, this feels like our chance. On the subject of fires, this was posted by Suicidal Franco on the forum. The original article here is from Forbes.
Let's give it a spin.
Oh, thank you for the quote of the day. From Richard Branson. A fire broke out at a Samsung battery factory. Wah, wah. I'm just gonna let that sink in for a moment. Yeah.
There isn't even like a ton to say. It was Samsung affiliated factory in Tianjin, China. Hopefully I said that right. Caught fire on the morning of February 8th. Not even that long ago. Picture circulated on Weibo, a Twitter-like Chinese social media service. I've heard of it before, I've just only read it. Showing black plumes of smoke above the factory. The fire didn't affect production, a spokesman has said. We don't have a quote in the doc, at least, about whether anyone was injured or died. But we do have a quote about production.
Yeah.
So
I'm assuming if production wasn't affected, probably no one was hurt. Let's hope that like that's the only reason that made it into the statement.
yeah.
But apparently was caused, so this is actually good news, by discarded faulty batteries. So it wasn't caused by like pallets of batteries that were on their way to be shipped to Samsung or anything like that.
Apparently this
Dodged
factory
one.
was within like the production scope of Note 7 batteries. So that's kind of
Oh man.
but considering those discarded batteries could be related to that.
Yep, could absolutely be related to that.
And speaking of injuries and stuff and potential production losses, there's a different Chinese factory that replaced 90% of their human workers with robots, and they saw a 250% increase in production.
Wow.
The factory used to be run by 650 employees, and now only 60 of them still work there, and most of them are there to ensure that the machines are still in working order. So it's probably more like the millwrights and stuff that were working there are still working. Yeah, pretty ridiculous. Robotic arms produce certain parts of the mobile phones that are produced at the factory station.
Wow.
The general manager has said that the number of human employees could drop as little as 20 someday.
So they could cut by another third, taking 650 down to 20. That's 1/30th? Is that right? 1/30th of the workforce? Wow.
Apparently the pieces per person per month has risen from 8,000 to 1,000. That's that production increase we talked about earlier.
And this company is far from the only one making the change. I mean, we've talked about things like McDonald's wanting to roll out restaurants entirely staffed by robots. I mean, this is something that, and I'm not gonna pretend that either the left or the right have it figured out at this point.
No.
But this is something that the politicians have to figure out and have to address. Welfare state is going to be a thing. Socialism is going to be a thing, or we are all going to starve. Most of us will. Period. There will not be jobs to bring back when robots are doing them.
And there's been a lot of talk about like, oh, well, every time that like some new major technological shift has happened, there's just been more different jobs. Unless like literally everyone ends up going into the entertainment sector, which like doesn't make sense.
Unless it does.
Unless it does. But then everyone's gonna have to be like those jobs will all have to be paid at ridiculously high
So
amounts.
let me propose something here. These robots build hard drives that power the cloud. The cloud, hold on, let me think for a second here. No, I had a way for this to work. Okay, the cloud pays entertainers to stream. So Amazon, okay? Amazon's an example of a cloud provider that owns Twitch.
Yeah.
Okay, so they pay entertainers
But
to
if
play
every
video
single
games.
person-
Hold on. They pay entertainers
Okay.
to stream to each other
Oh.
and use the cloud, okay? The cloud people go buy food from more robots that make food,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
those robots use that money to build more robots that build more hard drives.
Okay.
My temple's magic
So the
subsides.
future economy is based on
Find
hard
something
drives.
else to fight.
Yeah, Seagate and WD are
They're
totally,
just gonna do great.
totally stoked right now.
And the idea that you have people producing entertainment and consuming entertainment at the same time.
Well, we're gonna get real good at multitasking.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm firing up Casey Tron's stream
that-
right now.
So, so there's gonna be streams of people watching streams of other people.
Yes, and which is probably already a thing.
Live reactions.
That's definitely, yes.
And then there has to be live
streaming
reactions.
Live
reactions.
Yes,
Yeah.
and streaming like critique of the state of our society.
Yes.
Where like live reactions to people reacting live to something that's happening that a robot's doing is like all that's left for humanity at this point.
Yeah. Maybe like factory simulator games will get really, really popular, and the whole idea of factory simulator is that there's so many automated factories with robots, everything that you could do is in existence somewhere. So it just every time that you build something or like change something in the factory, it just changes to a live feed of a factory that is like that. So factory simulator just becomes like a simulation game.
Yeah. So yeah. So speaking of getting paid to be an entertainer, iFixit!
Yay!
iFixit has a lot of stuff that is probably in my notes. Oh yeah, iFixit's great. We love iFixit. In fact, I think I know. I was using the kit. That's why it's not there. It's in the, yeah, that one, and I think there's one there. Because I was taking something apart with it. Anyway, iFixit builds amazing tools for taking apart and putting back together and repairing and upgrading your electronics. They've got everything from their like complete one bag to hold them all solution that's got like their magnetic screw holder, their microfiber cloth, their multiple different screwdriver sets. It's fine. All the way from like the whole bag down to the ProTech toolkit, which has all the little prying tools you need for taking apart mobile devices, suction cups, all that good stuff, down to this one, which is the Essentials. Oh no, one of the Carpix fell out. This is the Essentials electronic toolkit. So it's got one of their trademark spudgers, which is a poking and prying tool. It's got their old version of their driver with 16 bits. It's got their ESD safe tweezers. It's got one of their suction cups. It's got one of their like knife things and one of their other prying tools. They're all great.
These prying tools specifically, I love.
These are the bomb. The number of times that I had accidentally damaged something by using a prying tool that like scratched it. Lots.
Lots when it wasn't that one.
There's little things that they think of. Like check this out. This is how you pull it out.
Yeah.
See? Because there's a little cavity there, so you can just pull it out like that. Pretty cool, right? So that's it. I recommend pulling out, and I recommend using iFixit toolkits. And you can save on an iFixit toolkit by heading to ifixit.com/Linus and using offer WANShow to save 5% on a purchase of $10 or more. Also sponsoring the WAN Show today, I think I do remember something about this, but we weren't going to do it until we finally upgraded the WAN Show set. And we were actually using their capture cards. So we worked out a deal with Epiphan, where I basically went, okay, look, we need capture cards that aren't terrible. In the upgrade blog, you guys are going to see the capture card and microphone graveyard that we keep under the table here. We had tried so many different ones. So I was talking to Epiphan, and I was like, look, we need capture cards that actually work. So here's the deal. You guys send us some capture cards that actually work. We're going to use them for a couple months to ensure that we are 100% certain they actually work. And then we are going to do our part to get the word out there that Epiphan capture cards actually freaking work. So here we are months in. The only issues that we've had with them have been due to overwhelming a single USB controller, which we were able to solve actually a couple weeks ago by popping in a PCIe USB controller card, and now I am pleased as punch. You plug them in, they automatically detect the resolution and the frame rate, everything is ready to rock instantaneously. The streaming quality looks great, and they just work. I think that was all I was really asking for. They just work. And they've got actually some recent firmware updates that make them better, great for not just like professional video streaming and whatever else. They're great for PC capture as well. So they do 2560 by 1440p now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So they actually do like PC resolutions and stuff like that. Like they really do care, and they're a Canadian company.
Yeah.
They're like,
and like,
it says right on them, made in Canada. I was like,
they're on the ISS.
I did not
They
know that.
use them for video capture. This is the second time I've told you on stream.
Really?
Sometimes you've reacted the same.
Oh. Must have forgotten. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I find that part very cool.
Anyway, they've got a fantastic lineup. Everything from the AVIO, SDI, HD, and 4K, which are the ones that we use predominantly. So if you've noticed the dramatic improvement in the quality of our video capture in our videos, that's thanks to Epiphan. That combined with that BenQ monitor that has HDMI pass-through allows us to capture exactly what's happening through multiple reboots because Epiphan just switches resolutions on the fly. So if you like blue screen, it captures the whole experience, the BIOS coming up. Now we have ways to just capture everything, and we can do it without interfering with the test bench system at all because everything's being done through an HDMI splitter that's built into the monitor, and then it goes out to a completely separate system.
I think we may have love hugged their website, and their website might be down. Sorry, Epiphan. But if you Google Epiphan on the ISS, you can find a few different articles. One of the top ones is Epiphan takes Pro. Oh, it's starting to load. So Epiphan takes Pro A-Beast aboard the International Space Station, and another one is about how they brought it to a NASA tech fair. So that's sort of cool if you want to read about like that. I like that a lot because I like space things and NASA and stuff.
Anyway, they also have PCI Express cards, so their DVI to PCIe Duo is another one that we have. That one is a little bit more manual in terms of the setup. So the one that I really recommend if you're looking for like a grab-and-go solution, I almost always have one in my backpack, is the AVIO 4K is my personal favorite. We use the SDI for our camera because we've got an SDI camera, and then we use the HD for just my computer gear because you don't need 4K for any stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, love it, love everything about it. Check it out at epiphan.com/AVIO/WAN.
Remember to go there later as well if you have to connect to that.
Yeah, it's good stuff, and it's actually not unreasonably priced either, which is great. If you just want to like pay a couple bucks more and get something that actually works. All right.
Sorry,
Epiphan, we tried.
Yeah.
All right, so in a surprise move that surprised no one, this was posted by Kuru Finway_wins. Wow, worst username ever award. NVIDIA announces their Q4 2017 results. Record profits.
Yep.
Record quarter. Gross revenue 2.173 billion. This is up 700 million from their previous Q4. Unreal. Net income is at 655 million. I mean, this is just unfathomable numbers, hey? Wow. That's unbelievable. Poor AMD. They posted their results 2 weeks ago. 1.11 billion in revenue, loss of 51 million. And they're in the CPU and GPU market. Unbelievable. So yearly numbers, 6.91 billion revenue compared to 5 billion the year before. Like when you're as much of a monster as NVIDIA is, I kind of go, yeah, how do you grow like 30% year over year? Well, apparently they figured it out. Unreal. Here's their...
your only singular competition?
Yeah. So here's their quarterly revenue trend. Look at that. They were doing 1 billion and change. Boom, second half of this year. Just on fire. I mean, remember too, NVIDIA is one of the biggest benefactors of things like deep learning. Things like autonomous driving.
Yeah.
I mean, that is NVIDIA's wheelhouse right now, and it is going, AMD is going to have to demonstrate to someone like a car manufacturer in a big way that they're still going to exist in 5 to 10 years if they're going to expect these guys to buy into the ecosystem. This is very, very important. There's more to it than just, well, AMD GPUs are great. this kind of processing too. If you're investing in building out like a supercomputer or something, there's no such thing as buying from a company that you trust, in addition to it having great performance or great specs or whatever the case might be. Okay, so this was posted by Zmule on the forum. The original article is from the Steam community here. Very interesting. Greenlight is going away. Fascinating.
I'm trying to find information on this. I believe the BMW autonomous car was running NVIDIA tech in it.
If I recall correctly, it was, but
I don't remember what it was.
I suspect the car companies are funny.
Yeah.
Where a lot of it, they're not going to just say like the BMW X-Drive, whatever the crap. You want a GTX Titan XP or 1080, and that affects like how many pedestrians you can dodge before you smack into a wall or whatever. Like, it doesn't really work that way. They're just gonna say with like, NVIDIA. It's really funny that NVIDIA's like compute card, the Tesla, would be a name that no car manufacturer other than Tesla would be willing to say, and even for Tesla, it would be like a really weird message.
Yes.
But they might just say with NVIDIA, deep learning technology or something like that. Like, there's going to be something else.
So it looks like they're working with BMW, Mini Cooper, Tesla, Audi, and Mercedes-Benz.
Okay.
NVIDIA is, but they're not saying like exactly to what extent or blah 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 blah. But like that's their partners for autonomous driving.
So the new system that Valve's introducing will be called Steam Direct. It's expected to go live this spring. They've been dissatisfied with Steam Greenlight for a while. That's good, because so were a lot of people. Gabe Newell described the system as probably bad for the Steam community.
I like how he's pretty blunt about things.
Stated that the goal was to make Greenlight go away, not because it's not useful, but because they're evolving. So Steam Direct will enable developers to get their games on Steam without having to pass an approval process first. They will ask developers to complete a set of digital paperwork, personal or company verification, and tax documents similar to signing up for a bank account. Once they're set up, they will pay a recoupable application fee for each title they wish to distribute. It's intended to decrease the amount of bad games submitted to Greenlight as a joke. Valve has said there are now more than 100 Greenlight games that have earned at least $1 million each, many of which wouldn't have been on Steam in the first place if it weren't for Greenlight. So they're not saying Greenlight, we should have never done it.
They're adding some barrier to entry.
Yes.
And it's recoupable, so I'm not entirely sure what that means.
All right.
It's probably like part of Valve's fee every time you sell a game doesn't exist until you've paid off that recoupable.
That makes sense. Yep.
And then you're back in it.
I mean, I've talked to folks like guys over at extremesystems.org. They added a $1 fee to sign up for their forum. And they were like, yeah, the dollar is meaningless. It means nothing compared to the administration and hosting costs and all that stuff. The point is it's anti-spammer.
Yeah.
So someone has to submit $1 with some kind of financial institution, and the spam was gone.
And I'm sure it was, and that would help a lot too. We're not going to do that.
No.
But like, I can totally understand the benefits of that.
Yep.
We like hurt because of troll jerks